Welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining in. We have a topic which was like one of my students suggested to me, and I also needed to reflect on it. So I encourage you all to, when we hear sometimes these words, shadow self or dark side or whatever, consciousness is that we sometimes wonder what these words are. So I would just say that, when some things like this come up, just clarify in your mind. Don't have the confidence to just put them out. Don't feel judged at all. What do we really mean by the shadow self? So, like she wrote that, how can we integrate our shadow self with ourselves, with our true self? Uh, so the question was that, firstly, what is the shadow self? Let us think of that. I mean, what is it? Why would we want to integrate the shadow self? And the shadow always feels like something dark, something that is behind us. Of course, it's a reflection. There's nothing real. Can you ever catch a shadow? We can't, isn't it? So what exactly do we mean by shadow self? Pragati, I would like you to say if you're open to it.
Yeah, thanks, Auntie. Thanks so much, first of all, for picking up the topic.
Yeah.
Yeah, so one of the exercises that I did recently with you and Rohini Auntie, I think there is where I realized that certain things which I'm judging in the other person are actually somewhere in me as well. That is why the judgment is coming. So theoretically, though I knew, and for myself also I knew, but then probably that day it was like a movie playing in front of me. So, that ways. That is when I started reflecting and felt that those parts of me I don't love in my own self.
Hmm.
For example, impatience, irritability, um, which when triggered more becomes anger as well. Um, that is when I started reflecting, reading, and felt that it'll be good to know that how do I integrate it. And by what I mean by integration is my understanding is that first I have to love myself, forgive myself for doing all of that. Um, and also when I was reading, I found out that there's a lot of work that has been done in this area, and it is only after that integration that one can feel fully satisfied and one can kind of reach their full potential. So that really made me very curious about this subject, and that is when I wrote to you and I felt that let's go deeper to understand, because right now it's a very superficial understanding that's there.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, it's not a superficial understanding, and I really thank you and really sort of respect you for putting this out. It's not a superficial understanding. Now, where are we wanting to understand from? Whenever you feel caught in an understanding, understand that you want to understand only from the mind. It's only the mind that wants to understand. No other part of you wants to understand. If you're kind of feeling a big love in your heart for somebody, you don't want to understand why am I feeling this love, because you just feel so, so one with that whole thing. And so this, to my understanding now, you mentioned a lot of things, and actually Srishti, Tanvi and I, while we were forming this, making the poster and the write-up, we spoke of the first thing that you mentioned was came to my mind, which had no direct relevance, but I'm going to, just share that little thing which I had sort of sent to them also at that time while we were making the poster. Um, and I want to speak it out because that is exactly the first statement that you shared. I mean, it's not just by chance that you have said what you have said, and we're going to take this part in one of the following Sunday conversations. And this quote said, every time you judge someone, you reveal a part of yourself that needs healing. Okay, and that's exactly that what you said, and I know that you saw it in the constellation workshops that we did. Every time you judge someone, you reveal a part of yourself that needs healing. So you are looking at that, and what we usually do is that we do not want to connect to that part, isn't it? If I'm feeling angry, I don't want to connect to that part which is making me feel angry, or triggered in some way. You use that word triggered. So we have to understand that, in my understanding, the shadow self is like something which is, maybe it could be the voice in my mind, because that is all the time that is triggering something. It could be my ego. But the thing is that we just get triggered without really, and it really builds up the whole thing. In fact, today morning, there was a story that I read, and I highlighted it because I want to share it in today's class before I go ahead. And then let's pick it up to see what exactly it means, what we're saying. This is actually a kind of a learning that we get from the Gurbani. So I'm just going to read the explanation of it, which says, your companion is the lowly anger, which is the demon within you. Okay, your companion is the lowly anger, which is the demon within you. Now, when I see this, there's a story behind this quote, that there was a donkey that was tied to a tree, and a demon came and untied the donkey. That is all that actually happened. A demon came and untied it. The donkey ran into a field and began to destroy the crops. When the farmer's wife spotted this, she shot and killed the donkey. The donkey's owner was so upset that he shot the farmer's wife. When the farmer saw his wife dead, he shot and killed the donkey's owner. The wife of the donkey's owner asked her sons to avenge their father's death and burn down the house of the farmer. The sons went and burnt down the house, assuming the farmer would have been burnt down along with the fire. Sadly, that wasn't the case. When the farmer came back to see the charred remains of his house, he went and shot the wife and the sons of the donkey's owners. Suddenly struck by remorse, the farmer asked the demon, why these terrible things have to happen? The demon replied, I did nothing at all. Oh, except I released the donkey. It was all, it was all of you who created or overreacted and released the inner devil. Did you get what it is saying? The devil doesn't do anything but to wake you up, and by just triggering the ego in you. That turns into evil intent, that goes into harming others the next time, so that just goes into the next thing and to the next thing. So many a times the devil needs to, all that the devil, or if here I'm using the word devil, I would say the shadow self, all that it needs to do is to just release that donkey within us. And then it goes into this whole feature film, into the story, right? So the intention of the demon was just to release the donkey for whatever reasons, but what actually troubles us is not that shadow self, is not that little anger. It's what follows. It's our reaction, right? So when we talk about the shadow self, it's something which is, like something which we always try to understand but can never grasp. And that's exactly what, you want to understand. So it's like we're digging a bottomless pit. We're going deeper and deeper. Why is this happening? What is triggering these negative things, emotions, situations in my life? But I can get no answer. Because that thing that has triggered this, and I'm using a broad word like insecurity, maybe it's triggered an insecurity into all of us, is only because of one thought. Where is this thought coming from? It's just a thought that has been initiated in my mind. Why is it bringing in fear? Because either I have experienced something like that in the past, and my subconscious mind holds an imprint of fear associated with such a situation, or such a vibration, or such an emotion. Right? That is why it is creating a fear. Or it is something which is unknown, which I'm not sure of in the future. And then I go into all the negative emotions and my vibrations go down, 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 down. Isn't it? So the word has been used as shadow self, but it is a part of you. The shadow is only yours. The thoughts are only yours. And you don't need to really push them away or integrate them, is what I would say. Right? You don't need to push that part of you away now the thing is that here this triggering is only happening for you to grow. I truly believe this 100%. Like I mentioned in my last talk also, that now with so much of astrology and numerology that I'm studying, I truly believe that all the challenges in your life are only to push you forward, right? And then those so-called shadow parts of our life that come in and we're not able to sort of integrate them. I mean, just imagine, how can you ever integrate a shadow if we look at it in the physical way? It's always falling behind you. Just symbol the perchai is following you. It's like something is haunting you. We even use it as an analogy that that person's thoughts are just not going from my mind, or that issue is just not leaving me. It's like your shadow, it doesn't leave you, isn't it? It doesn't leave you. But if you say lie flat on the ground, there's no shadow. So till we are alive, there will always be a shadow until the sun is shining or there is a light, right? So yeah, but leaving that aside, these thoughts that come up in our mind that trigger these things inside us, which we don't like, and we are trying to push them away. All we're giving more and more energy to them as we are pushing them away. But all we need to do is to come into the present and then ask, what is this part of me? It's like when the sun is behind, the shadows falling in this direction. When the sun is here, the shadows falling in this direction. If the sun is straight up, then there's no shadow, isn't it? So if I'm in alignment, there's no shadow, isn't it? There could be just a small thing around my thing. The shadow totally depends on the angle in which I am walking in relation to the sun, isn't it? So if we come into alignment, there is no shadow self. The shadow self only comes in when we are disaligned. And like I was just talking in our 7-week program, which we started today, it is like how we feel sometimes as if we are swimming in an ocean and all we need is an anchor, isn't it? That's when we feel triggered, because we feel we have no anchor, where to go, what to hold on to. We just say, okay, I just wish somebody could just hold me. Okay, we might be saying it in a different way, like, I'm feeling unsupported and I'm feeling unloved. I just want somebody to hold me and hug me and reassure me that everything is fine. So it's because I cannot do that for myself. I don't have my feet on the ground. I don't have my feet anchored in the ground. I don't have my feet or my thoughts anchored in the universe. I'm so caught in this personhood, and I'm trying to analyze deeper and deeper from the person, and I'm actually building up on all those things of, one's mind said, okay, now the donkey has destroyed my crop, let me kill the donkey. Now the farmer thinks, oh, my donkey has been killed, let me kill the killer of the donkey, and it goes on and on. It's like one thought that comes in, and the next and the next and the next and the next, having absolutely no irrelevance, that the demon just wanted to free the donkey. You understand? So it is this whole thing that forms in our heads. And what came to me when I was just reflecting and meditating on this topic today morning was, all we need to do is to focus on being in the present. There are no donkey thoughts. There are no donkeys even to be freed when we are in the present moment. Isn't it? It is all of something that we hold a fear from in the past, or some fear of the future. And the more we indulge in that, the more we are projecting, right? The more we are projecting. And that's why it seems as if that shadow is going to kind of totally overpower me. Sometimes you feel, when I thought of shadow, it's not just a shadow in the sun. It could even be like a shadow, like a ghost shadow coming upon us, isn't it? I just look at it very literally. I feel, oh my God, something is just coming upon me. It's just going to consume me. Most of it is our own thoughts. There's nothing else than that. So being in awareness, and yes, like you mentioned, Pragati, picking up from other things that you mentioned, that we see these in other people, but we see these in other people, yes, because we need healing in them, in ourselves. It's always a reflection, and this is probably the topic we will take up next week if we have the talk, that it is the judgment of, it is a mirror image. It is always a mirror image. It is not the emotion, like here, when you say anger or impatience, like you used, it is that vibration in you which is incomplete, and when you see it in another person, it starts to irritate you, because you want to come into that space of completion within yourself. That is energy work. That is energy healing, right? But I'm going to say, or take you one step further. Okay, I'm impatient and I'm at a level of, say, 7 on 10, right? I want to be 10 on 10. But this 7 on 10 that you're feeling right now is the best that you can do. So it is 100% for you. But some of us who are perfectionists and who want to aspire and strive for more, or even otherwise, there is no harm in doing that. But don't do it from a space of restlessness, or putting yourself down, or feeling inadequate, or feeling incomplete. If you feel that there is a lack and you want more, it seems very far off. If you feel that, yeah, I have enough, but I would aspire for more, it doesn't feel so far enough. Whether it is things that we want, or even, energetically how we wish to feel. So very, very important for us to first come into a sense of satisfaction. Otherwise, this shadow self, this part which is trying to engulf you, will just become stronger and stronger. Because for me, it is nothing but the mind and the thoughts. And this mind is also a part of us, isn't it? This mind, where is the mind? Like we say, the mind is not something which has been, there's no organ. We can't kind of um, have a surgery and remove the mind from our body, because it doesn't exist like that. The mind is created or conceived with the first thought that we have in the morning. And as I just mentioned in this program before, we have something like 90 plus minds. Like when you are, conscious mind, subconscious mind, unconscious mind, superconscious mind. These are some of the minds that we are aware of because they're linked to the body. But there are like 90 plus minds that we have, and they're only higher levels of consciousness, higher states of consciousness. You understand? So what we are saying is that if we connect to those higher states of consciousness, we're able to come into a space of understanding, or we are able to come into that space of alignment where, we are able to align all these higher levels of consciousness and actually connect to them. Like when we meditate, what are we doing? We're only raising these antennas and connecting to higher levels of consciousness, isn't it? And as we go higher, there's more and more clarity. Is someone trying to say something? Yeah. Does that make sense, Pragati, or anyone else who would like to say something, ask something? I'm sorry, there's a lot of electricity problem here, so the thing might drop off, but I will reconnect immediately as soon as it, picks it up. Yeah. So today, after we understand a little bit about what we are doing and what is happening, I will take you through a meditation to, to come into this alignment where there is actually no shadow self that exists. There's absolutely no shadow self that exists. But I would like to hear from you. Forget about the words shadow self or anything. Anybody feels anything else you wish to share, ask, put it out. Let's understand this aspect. Yes, Poonam.
So, Andy, I think, I was never aware of the shadow self as a topic. But yes, in some of the coaching work that I had to do, there it very strongly came out that, like I said, I have a problem with this because I find, such and such person like this. And then at that point, it was kind of made me realize that, what we see as a negative in others is actually a negative aspect of yourself. And when I kind of, went ahead and did certain things, and it came out like that, you know, the thing that I hated in the other person, I exactly replicate the same with others when I am in that situation. Uh, so like I had a problem with my boss, and I said, no, he's very authoritative, this and that, XYZ. When we did the entire circle of me putting in that situation and what happens, and if somebody does not do like this, my reactions were exactly the same, of dictating, not giving the other person the opportunity to kind of say it out loud or whatever it is, were exactly the same. And I think that was very, very powerful in terms of understanding. Uh, and of course, it's not very easy, because the fact is, no, I am not doing with that mindset. The other person is doing with the mindset of controlling and this and that, XYZ. But again, uh, but having said that, when we realize this is how it is happening, or this is how it is, what is the best way that we can do? Because it is like you're going to create a balance if you're going to fix it in you, right? Because it's like either on one side you'll stop judging the other person also, and the other side you will also be kind of, become a bit more acceptable. uh, but when you first get introduced to you, and I'm still struggling with that, how do you go about it? Because it's like it is there in you, you have all the reasons of being the way you want to be, or the way you are going to react.
Okay, so let's understand one thing, and thank you for bringing that up, Poonam. Um, see, whenever you're feeling a sense of discomfort, okay, whether it is a mindset, whether it is somebody has said something, whether there's an issue in some way in your life, know that you have fallen off your center. It's as simple as that. And I can say that to you because I know how that, you are very well connected to energy work, and you do work in that way. So you have to always understand that you are off your center, but also understand that never struggle with something, because that puts your vibrations down, and your efforts need to then be multiplied many folds to get into that same thing. So if I feel that, that person is always angry, and then I realize that, yeah, even I am always angry, how do I work on it is by just coming back to my center, not going so deep. Okay, what is the core? Where is the anger coming from? I mean, we've done all that work, isn't it? Today I am angry, and then I think, okay, now I've done certain sessions, I've done a clearing, I've done rebirthing, I've done some, past life regression. Now I shouldn't get angry, but that doesn't happen. So we have to drop all our resistances and aspire for the positive. Don't work on not being angry, work on being more full of love. Always work on the positive spectrum and not on the negative spectrum. You're trying to push doubt away. Don't let it be where it is. Bring in more trust. Have trust not in the person or in, in other things or in yourself. Trust in the universe. So for me, the best thing I would say is to pray. Just pray that, all these lower emotions don't grip you. Now they are going to be there. All of us have them. Yeah, all of us get impatient at times. All of us get angry at times. Be more realistic. We don't be so idealistic. But if that person or if that boss is irritating you, or anybody who's in a kind of a commanding position, in a senior position, is kind of irritating you or making you feel humiliated or putting you down, go back into reflecting that why are you feeling and believing in every word that he's saying. Okay, he's in a position of power and you are answerable to him to some level, but just know that he is the boss. That is why he is in that position and you are not. I think we spoke about this sometime back also. So what is it that you're trying to equate, or what is it that is troubling you if he, points out to certain things that you have done wrong? And I'm not saying that he may always be right. He may just be exercising his position. He may be very unaware that you are a very aware person, and you are actually feeling and trying to analyze this aspect and even taking it as a mirror upon your own energy. It's all for your growth, isn't it? It's totally for your growth. So how do you do it is coming into understanding that this is a vibration or an emotion I'm feeling right now, and it is just passing. Like suddenly today's a rainy day, but tomorrow it will be bright and sunny. But I can't go and stop the rain or, push the clouds away. I'm not God. So if it is happening, drop the resistance. Just stop and say, okay, it is happening. He is an angry person. Full stop. Why am I trying to change or, push against the wall? Can I be a loving person? Okay, how can I be a loving person? If he replies like, if he speaks like this to his subordinates, how do I speak to my subordinates? Can I rectify that in me? Does it make sense, Poonam?
Yes, Auntie, it does very much.
Don't work on that person. Don't work on, fixing those things outside. I want to be more patient. How can you be more patient? This is the level of impatience. You have so much on your hands. It's happening. You gather yourself, you come into your center. Again, you lose your patience and, you shout. So you feel I've failed. I'm trying it endlessly. Nothing is working. But that's not true. This is the place where you are right now, is where you need to be, and where you are, where you actually are. It is just perfect. There is no other way this thing could have happened. Drop all the coulds and shoulds. Life will become so beautiful. I'm not saying that, there are things that you want or you want to improve in your life, raise your, whatever you're aspiring for, raise your vibrations. But right now you're only able to do it to that level. Just love yourself that way. Yeah, it's fine. You're doing your best. And if the next is meant to be, that too will happen. Don't beat yourself. Most of us are in a self-sabotaging and a punishing mode. And that is the shadow self. That is the dark part of us. Why can't I get over this? Okay, I can't get over it. Full stop. Let me just be peaceful about it. Let me just be quiet about it. If you try to push, you're only draining your energy and you're not moving anywhere. And the best thing is to just analyze that thought, not where it is coming from, who gave it, what happened. Okay, is this thought even real? Is this shadow even real? There's no reality to that. So is this thought real, or is it just coming from my projection of the future, or something that may have happened in the past? I don't know if it will really happen, but it is triggering something in me. So if he's saying something, or some person is making you angry, and you're saying, why am I getting angry? It's only that pattern that you have fallen into, that if he says this, I should not get angry. But okay, he's going to say it and you're going to get angry. Let's accept it. If I can do something not to react at that time, would be very good. But I know, if I know he's going to say something, I'm already projecting it and inviting it into my life. And that is again going back to what I was saying, that you get disconnected from the present. And if we have time, I will just do a meditation to really bring you into a space where there is no past or future, just right now. And then tell me, each one of you, tell me, what is the real problem? Is there anything that you need to work on, get out of, do? No, it's only when you're disconnected from your center that you have all these things. So the more and more you connect to your breath, for me, the biggest anchor is the breath. Every week I emphasize, breathe, 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 focus on your breath, make your breath an anchor. You may not have music to meditate, you may not have your laptop or your phone, you may not have a teacher guiding you, but your breath is always with you. So the best thing to do at that time, Poonam, is to stop, pause, take 3 breaths of awareness. And you may say it doesn't work, but believe me, try it out. It will work. 100% it will work. Simple things, cut cords, do your forgiveness, come to the breath. Quick and simple, and move on. But you have to be in that space of awareness at that point, at that time, to think of, doing one of these things, or just picking up your fingers and tapping, anything like that. Don't struggle with it. Come into acceptance that this is how it is, and this is the best. This is how it is meant to be. And whatever I need to learn from this, God help me to learn from it so that it doesn't trigger inside me. That's all. Yeah. Yes, Pragati.
Yeah, actually, I was just lowering my hand because my answer, I got the answer, the question that I had.
No, ask. Na. It's like you may be putting it in a different way, but no harm asking. We can be more specific.
Okay. Yeah, so what I'm understanding is that both the things, one is dropping the judgment when that comes up, and second is centering. So which means at the end, it is all about centering. Like how quickly can I come back to my center? Okay. Yeah.
How
So that's
quickly
what I.
Yeah, how quickly can I anchor myself? See, why do you feel unsupported, or you feel, oh my God, everything is like a turmoil? I'm feeling like a spinning inside a washing machine, doesn't it? Because you have nothing to hold on to. वो घूम ही जा रहा है, कभी यहाँ से, कभी वहां से, कभी वहां से, कभी लग रहा है यहाँ गिर रही हूँ, वहां गिर रही हूँ. Now this one is saying something, now my child is saying something, now my boss is saying something. So you just feel so caught up with all this. Firstly, just stop. You don't have to do, don't try to overdo. Just do as much as you feel that you can at that moment, and there is no harm. Even if it is a job or a deadline, just say, I can do this. But give it your best. So don't think that I'm losing out if I can't complete this on this time. Not that we are going to get away with anything, but be honest. If at one point you've not been able to do something, just say it. We all have our limitations, and you'll be surprised if you say those things with more love and honesty, you will be heard, rather than trying to say that, this happened, that happened, I couldn't complete it. So, and you can only say that when you're grounded. When you're being thrown from here to there, that means what? Okay, I don't have my roots, I'm not anchored. So the breath is your best anchor. The breath is the best thing to center you, bring you back to where you are. Yeah. So keep connecting to your breath. Keep connecting to your breath. I'm going to take you through a little meditation also, to just come into the space of amness, the space of presence that we all are. And I see you are working on yourself. You have like kind of come back with a big, in a big way to work further, because you had got disconnected in between. Now you are coming back, but don't be so analytical. Don't be so logical, because this energy work is not like that. It is just not like that. Yeah. So just be gentle to yourself. Don't beat yourself up. It's okay. It's okay. Everything is fine. I always quote, the COVID taught us all this. How many things had to happen? Somebody had to get married. Somebody had to build a house. Somebody had to, leave a city. So many things. Everything came to a standstill, isn't it? Right? So it's okay. If it's that, then accept. You can't fight it. So better to just accept it, and it's okay. Whatever is the next best, that'll happen. But for now, this is the best. And so many of us during COVID said that, yeah, it was so wonderful for us to spend that time, just indoors with family. It was a breathing time. Like these last 2, 3 days, so many people took it as a lockdown, being home while the G20 was going on in Delhi, isn't it? So it's okay. Whatever needs to go on will go on. Whatever needs to take a break will take a break. It's fine. Just drop all resistances. Just know that this is what it is, and God help me to be in full acceptance with what is. Not resign to it. There's a subtle difference. Not come into failure. Oh, this is not happening. Okay, this is the best for now. I've got a 7 on 10. This is the best that I could do. If I could do 10 on 10 in my spellings, I would write in my notebook, isn't it? But I got 3 wrong. So I've got a 7 on 10. So I couldn't do better at that time. So let me correct myself, not beat myself, correct myself so that next time I get my 10 on 10. But that 7 on 10 is the 100% at that time, isn't it? Good, good. Yes, Pritika.
Adi, I'm going to add another dimension to this. And
Please do.
how do you, so because I now feel it's a lifelong journey. This thing, you'll keep seeing it, it'll keep happening. The work needs to keep happening. How do you add humor to the situation?
How do you add humor?
Yeah, because I mean, by the end of the day, I mean, we take it very seriously. Yeah? And you've always said this, Adi, that like don't take life so seriously. Like keep working on it, but I don't like get submerged in it, in that way.
Okay, give me an example.
So let's say you're feeling just what Prakriti was saying in terms of okay, let me pick up anger as the emotion, right? So let's say I get triggered by anger in somebody else. Now, let's say after this discussion, we know that that's getting triggered because that's some part of me exists in that situation, right? How do I add humor to that situation so that I'm able to pass through that moment? Because effectively, see, I'm working, I'm aware, etc. Maybe I'm not able to get there. So how do I add humor to that situation?
So it's like you say, I mean, you laugh with your mind saying that mujhe pata tha this is going, now anger is coming up, now I'll get triggered. I know that. Laugh to yourself, na, dekha ho gaya. Acha, aaj dekhte hain, how angry can I get?
Interesting.
Let all the anger come. Let it come. Let me see. The moment you say that, there's a shift in your energy, isn't it?
Right.
Like,
Because
we
you're
are
allowing
saying it from the anger. Oh my God, this pattern has come up again and I just can't work on it. I can't. I knew, I know I get triggered by this. Now he's saying this, I'm going to get triggered. And laugh within your heart. You see, this has triggered me again. Again, I've got caught. How you would tell your child, dekha ye fir se ho gaya. Koi baat nahi. Chalo, let's pick ourselves up. And, make it a little humorous because in that way, like I would tell myself, I knew, dekha, all the work that you're doing, still when this happened, it triggers you. But did it really trigger you to that level? And laugh about it in your heart.
right.
Make it light. It's only a feeling of anger. It's only a feeling. It's a passing cloud. It's not the ultimate.
Right.
Right. It's just how it is. But some people say it and they are further endorsing that pattern. Like every time something good is going to happen, today, Sunday was a holiday for everybody and we had thought of going for a picnic. जब भी हम सोचते हैं ना बारिश आ जाती है. We are cursed. Isn't it? That's how we go. So how can we make it humorous? Okay, so अब हम बाहर तो जा नहीं पा रहे. Let's see what we can do at home.
Right.
Make the best out of that situation, whether it is anger, whether it is, like the other day I was listening to a talk and they said, like, when you say na, when life throws lemons at you, make lemonade.
Lemonade, yeah, actually, yeah, right.
When life throws lemons at you, make mojito.
Yeah, true.
So move beyond the lemonade now. Yeah, so just like pick up that situation and say, okay, now again I go back to what I was telling Pragati and Poonam, that come into acceptance. Now we can't go out. It's all flooded. It's raining everywhere. We can't go out.
Right.
So let's do something. Let's play some indoor games. Let's just sleep. Let's just watch Netflix. But the thing is, the mind will say, no, but this is what was supposed to happen and that is not happening. Itna sara aur ho raha, you never get time to sleep in the day. Today you're getting time to just lounge in bed where everything else is being taken care of. Why are you not doing it? Then that is self-punishment, isn't it?
Right.
Because it was supposed to be this way. And it is no this way. I just gave the example of COVID. There is no this way. There is only one way, which is the perfect way, which is happening. And people even ask, I mean, why did he pass on? Why did this happen? It was meant to be. We are not God. We have not created this whole life. Can you even think that you can make, when we have to just say, make a little even decorate a home or just, you know, bring in the furniture, we get so exhausted. Think of creating the whole universe. You can't do it. It is some higher power and higher consciousness that is doing it. And when you really triggered and you can't do it, just say, God, I can't do it. We had a wonderful satsang yesterday where it said in a contemplation, just put everything in the basket of God, but even be aware what you're putting in that basket of God. What is it that you're asking for? Right? So just put it there at the feet of God. I can't handle it. Please help me. Please show me the way. And believe me, you will be shown a way. 100%. 100%.
Right. Thank you, Auntie.
So just, yeah, just trust and try. I mean, try at that time. If nothing else, just even if you're feeling like, you know, all that negativity inside, just there's a part of you which says, "Dekha, ye ho gaya." You know, in a daunting or a sort of a putting down way. And you say, yeah, I knew it was going to happen. So just laugh with that part of yours, that shadow self of yours. Now we have a name to that part.
Right.
Just laugh with it. कि हाँ फिर फिसल गई मैं, फिर गुस्सा हो गई. अब देखती हूँ how angry can I get? And okay, let more, and you know, then there'll be more, like the universe tests you. There'll be more things that will come in your life which will trigger you. But if you start lightening the energy around it, it will not impact you. Now, if it will not impact you or hurt you to that level, uski intensity hi low ho jayegi. The universe will say, she doesn't get triggered. Why am I wasting my time on her? Let me go and find some other Pritika.
That's
Yeah, you know what I mean?
perfect then.
So I
Yeah.
just wanted to add there, actually, just a very silly way of looking at it. So thanks, Pritika, for bringing the humor part. I think if we have fought with our husband, with our maid, with our child, whatever, there are enough comedy, what do you say, you know, people who are doing comedy on those subjects. I think we can always watch it with the person with whom we have had that anger and just laugh about it. Yeah. Just make a cartoon, maybe, you know, drawing. Yeah. And
you know, sometimes you don't
yeah.
have that much of energy or wisdom or strength to do that. So just in your heart, you know, like if it's, you know, there's a part of you which is just you, and you know those things about yourself. So it's like, you know that, this could make me angry. Now my daughter will do this and it's going to be angry. When I serve the food, she'll say, I don't want to eat this. So just laugh inside yourself, validating that, okay, I knew this is going to happen. I knew this is going to come in. You know, so just laugh to yourself with that. Just laugh to yourself with that. It's okay. Again, it's not the end of the world. It's fine. But when you lighten up within you, which is a very good way to how to deal with it. And, you know, as Pragati said, thanks for acknowledging that and bringing in the humor part, because it makes it just so much more viable and so much more lighter. And, you know, you get out of that situation in a much lighter way, isn't it? And Bambi is smiling. We to put everything in the basket of God yesterday.
No, because as you're speaking, also what Pragati and Pritika are saying is, you know, when life gets serious and the mind takes it seriously, it's a little comical way of making things light by saying even God is looking at us and saying, "Arey, why are you taking it so seriously? I'm there." No? So when you just leave it to that, and like you rightly said, the whatever needs to be done, that way comes to you. It happens like that.
But we want it to be done in our time. We want it to be done now. We just ask for things when we pray, like we even say, you know, God, do this, give me this in this way, in this packet, with this ribbon, with this tag. You know, we are directing God. Can you imagine? God who's created this universe. Sirf ye nahi bolte, okay, just give me this gift. We are saying packet in this way. It should be of this brand. It should come to me today before 3 o'clock. Everything we are dictating. You know? So yeah, we have to be a little aware of what we are doing, what we are saying, how things are. And always know that at that time, whatever God is putting in your lap, in your life, even if it is troublesome, it is just helping you to overcome and rise to a higher level of consciousness. And sometimes we say, I don't want to rise anymore. Bas ho gaya, kitna? How much will I keep going? That's that feeling of that I'm going on, and it's a struggle, because you see, this will go on. Today it's your small child, then she'll grow up, then it'll be your partner, then it'll be your boss, then it'll be mother-in-law, then it'll be your child has grown up, then, some new person will come in your neighborhood, there'll be your staff. So this is life. This so-called, things are going to go on coming and bubbling up. But if you take it into your mind and into your ego, and then you get caught in that, then life is just going to be a struggle. But if you are able to just step back and look at those things as, yeah, it's just something which is happening, let me lighten up, then those same situations will not be challenging. I'm not saying situations will not come. There may be deeper and bigger so-called challenges, but you will have the strength to go through them. Because I truly believe that whatever you are given in your life, you have that ability to do it. We always keep saying to our children, I just wish my child can be at his best potential. I just wish I know she has a deeper potential. Whenever we used to go for PTMs or, for our children or wherever, even we were in school, what would the teacher say? She can do better. He can do better. Isn't it? Of course we can do better, right? But right now what I'm doing is the best that I can. That does not mean that I'm going to be laid back. Right? So in the same way, look at yourself. Of course, you have a higher potential, but you're doing the best in this way. And even God knows that you have a higher potential. No one knows more than God of your higher potential, of what more you can do or how better you can deal with these challenges in life. God knows that. So God has only given you that much to stretch you a little bit. Yes, of course. Just as you want your child to stretch herself and study half an hour more or answer the questions or read more, in the same way, God also wants to stretch you. That is the ultimate parent, isn't it? The Father, Mother, Universe, God, whatever you might like to say. Because God knows your potential. So trust in that. Trust in that. Don't say, my God, why has God cursed you? Can you ever curse your child? You will never curse your child. Can God ever curse you? Past life karma, this, that. That's all the play of life. That's all the play of life. But you have full ability to deal with it. Not 100%, 200%. And the best way is to resign. It's not to keep doing, struggling, striving. Now is to resign, to settle down, align, and then see. It's, as we say in our SRT, lesser effort, greater results. Now, all that effort has to stop in. Pray. If you want to do something, pray. Connect to the universe, chant, operate from that space. Yes, Bambi?
So, just going back to what you're saying about life is, it'll keep going on and on. Just yesterday, with a friend who's also present here, Shankar, we were just discussing about how life is, all of life and all of this existence about learning and then having experiences and then learning. So to the mind, I was trying to answer, but I think you'll be best to answer is, to the mind, doesn't that get boring? Okay, experiences are there, then you're learning, it's just one cyclical thing. So could you throw some light on this, please?
So, this is definitely going to happen. This is going to continue happening also. Because what we think, okay, now I'm in kindergarten, now I'm going to go to middle school, now I'm going to senior school, now I'm going to go to college. Now this part has finished. The learning is not that learning. That is only educating, educating yourself in a very bookish way. That's also learning. And we are saying, okay, child is going to school. But actually, this whole life is a school, isn't it? Our life is a school. And every day we are suddenly put into the commerce section, suddenly thrown into the science section, suddenly told to go for, exercise and drills, and suddenly told to do some drawings. So that's what throws us off board. But I believe every day, every moment, and it is not necessary that we have to look at everything as a learning experience, because it is just life happening. And the more we allow it to happen organically rather than inserting ourselves, the easier it is going to be for us. Isn't it? We don't have to insert ourselves to that level, thinking that I have to, I have this experience, now I've learned this lesson, now the next. It's not a linear growth. You could be thrown anywhere in any which way. Then we say, okay, now we're into energy healing. It could impact your health, it could impact your relationship, it could impact your finances. No, it could impact, all these are interlinked. Isn't it? Going through one aspect is going to the other aspect. And the only thing that you can say out of this, what you have asked, Bambi, is that God help me to really live with that new learning or experience that I have got, so that I don't have to go through that same thing, but I rise up to a higher consciousness or operate from a higher space when I'm thrown into that same class again or through that same exam again. Right? And believe me, all these subjects, all these emotions, all that we are talking about, when we come into our centered heart space, which you know of so well, Bambi, they all fall off, isn't it? And we just come into that trust, okay, now God wants me to learn this. How many times as parents we've told our children, I know better. Mujhe pata hai, you don't say what you're saying because I'm the parent. I know better. In the same way, we have to understand that God knows better. So just ask for that strength that I learn my lesson through this experience and I don't have to go to that again. I don't have to fall down into that again. Isn't it? And yes, in that, be a little vigilant, be in awareness, be in trust.
Yeah, what you said is beautiful. Growth is not linear, so it can take you anywhere.
And we have that conditioned way of growing now. Okay, now I'm kindergarten, now first class, second, third, it's linear. Okay, it's linear to some level, but that is just your logical mind.
Yeah.
There's nothing more than that. Growth is just happening in any which way, isn't it? And you learn. I mean, so many people say that, I mean, they used to say, I can't say that with a daughter of mine, like mine today, that, oh, before you get married, you should learn how to cook. This was one of the old conventional ways. If she hears me, she'll murder me. But yeah. So now it's not like that. And we used to say, haan, jab hoegi shaadi, apne aap sab seekh jate hain, jaise. So it is, don't take it literally in that way. But yes, when life throws you into that situation, you will learn how to cook, na? Like Aishi says, I'm not cooking, I'm ordering. You want to eat, I'll order for you. Otherwise, cook for yourself. So, yeah. So it's just how you learn to make your way. If we keep grumbling about it all our lives, then we'll keep grumbling about it. But just say, okay, now this is the situation I'm in. What is the best I can get out of it? And don't take it seriously. It's not the ultimate. I always go back to that example, class 10th. Okay, I didn't get so many marks in my, say, maths or German exam, and I was ready to commit suicide. And then 10, 20 years down the line, I ask you, what did you score in your maths exam in class 10? Don't remember, 80, 90, kuch aise hi hoga. But us time we were ready to commit suicide, isn't it? My life is doomed. I won't get my subjects. I won't get what I need to do in life. But everybody will get what they need to do in life. God has better plans than any of us. Don't try to interfere and know, okay, God, tell me. God will tell you when you need to know, but be open to listening. We are so caught up in our mind that we just don't listen. And we are only saying, oh, we are cursed. I don't get better. The other person's life is so much. The grass is always green on the other side. Go into that person's. We were just talking about a young child who's got into a university because she really wanted to. She gave up subjects of her choice from one university because she didn't like the university, being in another university because she wanted to be in the university and not having subjects of her choice. And she feels her friends are doing very well because they're putting up posts on Instagram and Facebook. I mean, we all feel that. But believe me, internally, it is very different. Internally, each one is very different. And whatever we are showing, especially on this Instagram and Facebook, is not reality. It's just what is put out. It's the Facebook. Yeah.
Bhabi, can I just say something?
Yes, Gitanjali, please.
So to this, I was just going to say, and you just narrated that we were talking about in the morning. So to this, exactly the conversation that I had with her last evening. So she herself said, and which made a lot of sense that, she has realized it. And she said that, Mama, I don't want to make big plans now. And I don't want to see things in the way I want them to be, that this is how it's going to be and this is how perfect it's going to be. Now I just want to do, what is coming my way. I will take that step only if I'm very sure. And I'm not going to have that visualization like, that this is how it's going to be the perfect picture, because that's really not how it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's really not how it is.
And see, this is how God teaches us lessons. Now that you've spoken up, I can share that her daughter got admission in a particular university, and the subjects probably that were more favorable that she wanted to study, but she was so bent on Delhi University. Of course, she got in ultimately because she had a very strong intention. And so God said, okay, go here, but you will not get the subjects you want, right? So she is feeling kind of, I wouldn't say deprived, but yes, that, things have not been fair. And we all feel that at different times. But these are our learning lessons as much as we feel bad when we see our children not happy. But she's realized it and she's understood that she's got what she wanted. But then every time you have to also understand that, God has a bigger plan. And I'm sure she'll do very well. She's a smart, very intelligent girl. I'm sure she'll do very well. And I would suggest that, like I was telling Gitanjali in the morning, that we just have to tell her no regrets. Just fully trust that you're meant to be here.
Yeah.
Meant to be here.
Yeah.
We are so happy that you're with here rather than being in the university or the hostel. I mean, we're happy you're home, you're with us, and we're going to make the best of it, and you'll really excel in what you're doing. No regrets.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. And these live sharings make these conversations real, isn't it? Thank you. Thank you, Gitanjali. Okay, so do we do a quick meditation? Okay, let's sit back. Sit back, close your eyes. Take a couple of nice deep breaths. Okay, Avneet, I don't want to distract the meditation, but I will answer your question also. Just come into the present moment. Sit comfortably. Relax your shoulders. Connect to your breath as we always do. Gently breathing in and breathing out. Closing your eyes, relaxing your shoulders, and totally connected with awareness to your breath. And as you sit here, just say to yourself the words, I am, I exist. I am, I exist. I am, I exist. And just allow yourselves to fall into the place of amness, to feel these words that you are, that you exist. I am, I exist. Just notice that breathing is happening. Everything is actually happening on its own. You're not making an effort to breathe. All your senses are working without any effort to do anything. You can hear, you can smell, you can feel. Thoughts may come, but just for this short while, don't engage with any thoughts. When I say don't engage with any thoughts, means if a thought comes, just gently watch it and let it move on. Another one will come, just watch it and let it move on. You be in the space from where you're watching these thoughts. Just notice that these thoughts arise in a space and you just allow yourself to rest in this space, watching the thoughts from a distance. Just notice a few things about this space. See whether it seems big or small. See whether it has a beginning or an ending. Where does it begin and where does it end? Where did it come from? Did it come from somewhere? Is it going somewhere? And just for this short while, set aside everything that you know as being you. Here you have no name, you have no gender, you have no expectations, you have no perceptions, you have no memory, you have no past, you have no future. You just see gently, notice gently, confirm what remains. Just notice that it takes no effort to be here. no effort to reach this space, no effort to remain in this space as this space. Just confirm to yourself that you exist without all these badges, without all these things that you normally identify yourself with. Notice that the space neither begins nor ends. Just notice its vastness, its endlessness. Just allow yourself to rest in the space, rest deeply in the space, witnessing everything that is going on without any need to do anything about anything. Just be. And notice that thoughts are becoming distant and they're passing. Notice that nothing can really touch you in the space. Notice that there is no you in the space. This space in which everything exists. This space in which everything manifests. This space which needs no fixing, no healing, no completion, no being in charge. No judgments, no expectations, no perceptions, no memories, no past, no future, no birth, no death. Just recognize the space and rest here as long as you need to. Knowing that even when you open your eyes, this space always exists. It is primary. It came before you. It's not somewhere you have to reach to. Here we need no integration, no healing, no talking, no doing. Just knowing that you are and you exist. So knowing this, confirming this in your own time, in your own pace, gently move your fingers, wriggle your toes, bring your awareness into this moment. And you may slowly and gently open your eyes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So a lot that I have spoken to comes from the guiding and pointing of my master, Moji Baba. Just listen to his meditations on YouTube, listen to his satsangs. There'll be so many things that get answered. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.